Hello, realtors, developers, real estate agents, and real estate professionals generally. So, we're in this series, we've been looking at what the seven-figure masterclass really entails. And in the last conversation, I was saying that the seven-figure masterclass consists of the seven-figure course itself as well as the realtor's law course, right? So you can choose to go for the seven-figure masterclass, which will consist of the seven-figure course as well as the realtor's law course. But you can also do that separately. You can go for either the Realtors local separately or the seven-figure masterclass or seven-figure course separately. Right? But if you go for the two together, you have some form of discount. The price is better if you go for the two of them together. And why did I create the Realtors locals? I didn't create it just because I'm a lawyer. Rather, I discovered, or law made me discover the importance of the seven-figure Realtors locals, or rather the Realtors locals. Forgive me. And let me start by saying that there's no, I mean, for you to become a medical doctor, you need to understand medical law. It's part of your important courses that you have to go through in the university. For you to become a lawyer, you have to go through the course yourself. For you to become an accountant, there's a legal part of your course that you must go through. For any profession, really, there are legal parts of every course that you have to pass for you to qualify or be certified to be able to do a certain type of business or render certain type of services as a professional. Now, the real estate sector is high ticket, and based on global standards, people who do real estate don't do it anyhow. You don't just wake up in 5 minutes and decide that you want to be a realtor. You are now a realtor. You start selling millions of naira, or you start selling houses to land worth millions of naira. Right? There are procedures to that. So the fact that the Nigerian real estate sector is yet to be regulated, it doesn't mean that you should, or rather, my encouragement always will be that, or my advice always will be that if you want to stand out in this sector, if you want to do well in this sector, then you have to personally pay attention to the knowledge that you have in this sector. And one important part of that knowledge is the legal part of the business, because there is no successful real estate transaction. There is not. You can't find any successful real estate transaction that doesn't have law attached to it. The success of every real estate transaction is backed up by the legality of that real estate transaction. If you want, so I've always said that real estate is not crayfish, is not shawarma. You don't just eat it and that's it, right? Rather, it is always sustainable. Usually, it is designed to outlive man, right? It was here before we came, and it's going to be here by the time we're leaving, right? So for every time you're doing real estate, you must treat it with a sustainable mindset. In other words, what guarantees that security, that sustainability, and that safety ultimately is the legal part of the business. That is why when you buy a land, they don't give you the land that you carry it on your head and you take it home like a car, right? Rather, when you buy a land, they give you papers, and those papers are backed up by law. So if those papers are not legally right, then you're holding, what you'll be holding is mere papers that don't have legal value. And at that point, it will not protect what you have bought as as a product or as an investment, right? So that gives you an idea of the importance of the returns law course already. Again, there is no successful real estate transaction that doesn't have law attached to it, right? And then I bet to say that um, for every top realtor, every like realtor that is doing really well by all standards, trust me, they understand the legal part of the business, because there's a point that you get to that clients will involve their lawyer, and you're going to have conversations with their lawyer. And if you don't know what you are doing, definitely you will lose those deals, right? So if you want to grow and really grow in the business, the legal part of the business is one that you do not want to joke with, right? So let's get right into it. It's the curriculum, what we have in the Realtors law course. For the Realtors law course, we have module one, which is understanding Nigerian property law as a realtor, the role of law in real estate transactions, positioning for being a needed consultant and an authority, the guarantee of safety, security, and sustainability of real estate transactions, escaping the troubles, minimizing and managing the risk of selling real estate. Module two, ways through which one can become a landowner before you sell. Top 9 ways that you must know, or top 9 ways that you must know as a realtor, right? In terms of ways that you can become a realtor. I mean, ways that one can become a landowner or a land seller before you can competently sell for them. And module 3, I looked at legal terminologies or concepts you must be familiar with as a realtor. And then under that, we looked at top 10 terminologies you must know to stand out as a realtor. Module 3, part 2, we looked at parties in real estate transactions. For every real estate transaction, there are parties, and I looked at top 10 of them. Module 4, we looked at understanding titles and title documents. They are separate conversations. Understanding titles and title documents. And here I have questions like what is title? What is a title? Then what is a title document? Kinds of title, recital, types of title document, kinds of title, and types of title document. Different conversations. How to know a good root of title, documents that may not constitute good root of title, the DMTM principle, how to know genuine title document, who should prepare a title document, all of that were dealt with under model 4. Model 5, meaning of a deed in real estate transactions. What is a deed? All right. When is a deed mandatory to be used in property transactions? Under that, we also have things that must be in a deed, particularly as it relates to property transactions. And then in module 6, we have all you need to know about power of attorney. Yes, very important one. Quite sensitive as well, but we're not afraid of doing sensitive things. We do it based on experience, based on professionalism, and based on expertise, right? So that was dealt with under module 6. What is a power of attorney? When do you need a power of attorney? Features of a power of attorney and difference between a power of attorney and a conveyance, right? And outright sale. Module 7, we looked at contract of sale, meaning of a contract of sale, importance and advantages of a contract of sale. When do you need a contract of sale? All of that was dealt with in Module 7. Module 8, Land Use Act and the Certificate of Occupancy or Right of Occupancy. Introduction to the Land Use Act, the role of a certificate of occupancy. What is a right of occupancy as well? And then difference between certificate of occupancy and a right of occupancy. Understanding different jurisdictions and statutory titles. Understanding titles and title documents in Nigeria. Very important. Module 9, lease. What is a lease? All you need to know about a lease in Nigeria. See, for every legal conversation in this particular course, a number of them are sensitive and quite unpopular. And if you ask me, I've done real estate across major locations in Nigeria, and just for this course alone, a number of persons, even developers are not aware. I think I'm going to have to say that. A number of developers that are just developing, but the legal part of the business is not something that they are very familiar with. Some of them are familiar, but familiar with the wrong information or the wrong things happening based on the legal part of the business. But this course corrects a lot of things as relates to the legalities of doing this business. So, meaning of a lease, what is a lease? Parties in a lease transaction, a deed of lease, a deed of sublease, essential elements of a deed. When do you need a deed of lease and a deed of sublease? When you don't need a lease, is a deed of lease a title document? Statutory lease and key exceptions, jurisdictional issues and exceptions. Module 10, accession. The truth most realtors and developers don't know. So what is accession? How accession came about, how to avoid accession in process, against it, how to play safe as a realtor. Always, you must learn. One of your key or one of the keys to being sustainable in the business is knowing how to play safe for you, for yourself. Module 11, freehold. What is freehold? Types of land status. We say freehold a title document. Questions to ask when you are involved in a freehold transaction. Module 12, right steps and procedures of purchasing a property. Step-by-step approach to conveyance, how to know genuine lands and properties, and updated legal mistakes to avoid as a realtor. So that's what we have in module 12. So the Realtors law course has 12 modules and a number of parts in there. So some of them have part 1, some of them have part 2 and all of that. So that's what we have in the Realtors law course. And as you still know, we keep growing in the business. We keep growing in the business basically. And what that means is that we'll keep updating whatever should be updated. We'll keep adding whatever will be added. And trust me, the whole goal is to make sure that we have the best realtors in Nigeria in such a way that deals that are the best will not pass us by. And importantly, we also impact the sector in a way that we create a difference, we create impact, and ultimately we are able to raise genuine, wealthy realtors. I like to use two phrases to summarize my association with realtors. Is that we are raising a new breed of realtors who are excellent, who have integrity, and are wealthy. And if you want to be a part of that excellent or part of that court, and if you want to be a part of that, and if you want to be a part of that association, that circle, then I encourage you to invest in knowledge. And you can start with investing in the seven-figure masterclass as a whole, or you invest in the Realtors Law course or the seven-figure course separately. My name is Raymond Ijoman. I am the lawyer that loves real estate. I'll see you in class or on the other side of business. Bye bye.